You made it here. Whatever today piled on you, whatever is still buzzing in the back of your mind, you got through it enough to lie down and press play. It might be late, or it might just feel late inside your head. Your body's tired, but your thoughts are still pacing around, replaying things, planning things, worrying about things that won't even remember you tomorrow. And here you are, in the dark, hoping that maybe this time, something will actually help you slow down. Maybe you've tried a lot of things already, scrolling until your eyes hurt. One more episode, one more article, one more sleep track that told you to relax when you were nowhere near relaxed. Maybe part of you is already bracing for this to be more of the same, and another part is quietly whispering, please, just let this be easier. Just showing up here is enough. You made a small, quiet decision to give yourself a chance, even if you're not sure it will work. You don't have to be calm. You don't have to be positive. You don't have to believe in anything. You're here, lying down, listening. That's all that matters right now. There isn't a right way to do this. You don't need to catch every word. You don't have to concentrate or force your mind to behave. If your thoughts wander off, that's fine. If you drift in and out, that's fine. If you stay awake the whole time, but feel just a little less crowded inside your own head, that's already a win. Think of this as something that will keep you company while you lie here. It doesn't need your effort. It doesn't need your best self. It can just flow in the background while your system slowly realizes it's allowed to quiet down. If sleep comes, it comes. If all that happens is that the night feels a little softer, that's enough. So for now, nothing needs to be fixed tonight. You don't have to solve tomorrow from your pillow. You don't have to untangle every feeling before you rest. All of that can wait on the other side of sleep, or on another day entirely. Let's start closer to where you actually are. Not in some perfect, peaceful place far away, but right here, in this bed, in this room, in this very ordinary moment that you are living in. Notice the weight of your body against whatever you're lying on. You don't have to change anything. Just feel the simple fact that something solid is holding you up. Your back, or your side, or your stomach. The parts of you that are touching the mattress, or the couch, or the floor. All of that contact is already happening without any effort from you. Feel where your head meets the pillow. The way it gives a little under the weight. Maybe there's a cool spot, or a place that's warm to the shape of you. Your neck might still be tight from the day. That's okay. It doesn't have to relax on command. Just let it be how it is, while you notice the support underneath it. Your shoulders might still be holding something from earlier. A conversation, a deadline, a decision you're not ready to make. You don't have to drop it all right now. Just notice that your shoulders are here, in this room, not back in that moment. Feel where they touch the bed, or the way the blanket rests over them. Pay a little attention to the air on your skin. Is it cool or warm, or somewhere in between? Maybe there's the faint movement of air from a fan, or from a window, or just the quiet stillness of a closed room. Your skin knows the temperature, even if you're not thinking about it. Let yourself sense that, just for a moment. Notice the fabric against your body, the texture of your shirt, or pajamas, or the sheets, the weight of the blanket over you, however light or heavy it is, the way it settles over your legs, your hips, your chest. It doesn't need to feel perfect. It just needs to be there covering you, marking the edges of where you end and the rest of the room begins. Now, without trying to change it, feel your breathing, however it is. Maybe it's a little shallow, a little uneven from the day. Maybe it's already starting to slow down on its own. Just notice the gentle rise and fall. The way the air comes in through your nose or your mouth and then leaves again. In, out, in, out. A quiet, steady rhythm that has been happening all day, even when you were too busy to notice. Your chest moves a little with each breath. Your ribs expand and soften. Your belly might lift and fall, even if only a little. You don't need to deepen it or smooth it out. Just feel that you are breathing, and that every breath is another small sign that your body is here, in this moment, doing what it knows how to do. Here, just here. That's the whole thing right now. Not the messages you didn't answer, not the thing you said that you keep replaying, not the list waiting for you tomorrow. Just the feeling of lying down, breathing, held by whatever you're resting on. The walls are holding their shape. The door is closed, or partly closed, exactly how you left it. The world outside this room is still there, but it's not asking anything of you in this second. All of the shoulds and what ifs and I really need to can stay outside the edges of this bed for a while. If your mind tries to drag you back into the noise, that doesn't mean you're doing this wrong. It just means your mind is used to running hard, even when you're exhausted. Every time you notice it, you can gently come back to something simple and real. The weight of your body, the feel of the pillow, the quiet pull of gravity, the soft movement of your breath. Think of this space as a quiet room inside the night, made just for the part of you that is overwhelmed, the part that says, it's too much. It's all too loud. There's nowhere to put it. In here, you don't have to put it anywhere. You can set it all down in a loose, messy pile at the edge of the bed, just for now. It will still be there if you need it later. You don't have to organize it or understand it tonight. If your thoughts are still racing, they can keep moving in the background, like cars passing on a distant road. You don't have to stop them. You don't have to chase them. You can let them come and go while you keep returning to these simple anchors. Your body, your breath, the quiet of this room. Imagine that the bed is holding more of your weight with each minute that passes, as if the mattress or the couch or the floor is saying, I've got you. You can sink in a little more. You don't have to hold yourself up so tightly. You might not feel any big change. That's okay. Even the smallest softening counts. Around you, the room has its own kind of stillness. Maybe there are faint sounds in the distance, a fridge humming, a car outside, pipes in the walls. Maybe it's almost completely quiet. Whatever is there, it doesn't need your response. You can let the sounds be part of the backdrop while you stay here, closer to your own breathing, your own weight, your own warmth. If your jaw is clenched, it can stay clenched for now. If your hands are tight, they can stay tight. If your chest feels heavy, it can feel heavy. There is no test to pass. Your only job right now is to lie here. That's it. As you rest here, you might notice tiny shifts, a slightly deeper breath every now and then, a muscle that stops gripping quite so hard, a thought that feels a little less sharp than it did earlier. You don't have to hunt for these changes. They'll come on their own time, like a room slowly dimming. This is a quiet place for the parts of you that are overloaded, a place where nothing urgent is chasing you, even if your mind still thinks it is. You can keep listening, or you can drift. You can follow every word, or you can let the words blur into a gentle, steady presence at the edge of your awareness. For now, stay just as you are, breathing, supported, held by the bed, wrapped in whatever covers you, surrounded by four walls that are not asking anything of you. Let the rest of this night unfold at its own pace, while you simply remain here exactly as you are, on the edge of rest. The day stands just outside the doorway now, on the other side of a gentle line, Inside this room, things are quieter, closer, more simple. Your body is already here, resting where it is. The rest of you is just arriving. Imagine you are standing in a small hallway, the kind that exists in almost every home. A familiar doorway in front of you, a handle under your hand. Behind you, the long corridor of the day. In front of you, one quiet room. Your breath moves in and out as if it has just stepped over the threshold before you. Easy, unhurried. Feel the surface beneath you, the way it holds your weight, like a floor that has learned the shape of your footsteps over years. Steady, dependable. The mattress, the pillow, the blanket, all playing the part of a soft, worn-in home. Somewhere in your mind, you reach for a key that has already turned. The door to this quiet room is open. You step in by noticing the simple things. The weight of your head against the pillow, the way the fabric meets your skin, the tiny give of the material under your cheek, as if it's shifting just a little to make room for you. That is the feeling of arriving. Imagine you are setting down a bag just inside the doorway. You do not have to see what is inside it. You only feel the relief in your shoulders as the strap slides away. That small, downward pull that stops. The way your arms hang more loosely afterward. Your body is doing the same thing now. Your shoulders rest a little heavier into the bed. Your arms sink. The muscles that have been holding things up all day begin to hand them over to the room. Listen, for a moment, as if you have just closed an actual door behind you. There might be faint echoes of the day, like distant voices in another part of a house. They do not need to be pushed away. They are simply in another room now. Here, the sounds are softer. The quiet hum of the night. The gentle whisper of fabric when you shift. Maybe the faintest rustle of the blanket, like curtains moving in the slightest draft. The quiet room holds these sounds the way walls hold light at dusk. Softly, without effort. Your breath is the first thing you unpack. Inhale. Notice the coolness of the air as it moves in. Exhale. Notice the slight warmth as it leaves you, like the warmth that gathers in a room that has been lived in all day. With each breath, it is as if you are placing something down by the door. Keys on a small table, shoes against the wall, coat on a hook. You are not losing anything important. You are just not carrying it anymore. Feel the back of your head, the steady contact with the pillow. There is a gentle impression forming there, like the way a cushion remembers where someone always sits. The pillow is learning the outline of your rest. Your neck lengthens a little as it no longer has to hold your head upright. The back of your skull is cradled. The muscles along the sides of your neck can soften, like a collar unbuttoned at the end of the day. Your jaw, too, can arrive. If your teeth are touching, they can ease apart by a hair's width. Your tongue can rest heavy and quiet, like a small object set down on a shelf where it belongs. The room around you is simple. 4 walls, a ceiling above, the bed beneath, maybe a bedside table, perhaps a lamp that has been turned off, its warmth slowly fading, leaving only the memory of light. Even if you cannot see it, you can feel the outline of this room in the way the air sits on your skin. Notice the temperature. Maybe it's slightly cool, like a hallway floor under bare feet, or gently warm, like a room that has been waiting all day with the door closed. Where the blanket covers you, the air is still, held. Under the covers, there is your own small weather, your own small climate of warmth and softness. Where your skin is uncovered, there is a faint movement of air. It might brush your forearms, the back of your hands, your face, the tip of your nose. This is the doorway where inside and outside meet, the air of the room, and the warmth of your body. Your chest rises and falls as if it is also opening and closing a door, very quietly. Inhale, the door opens a crack. Exhale, it settles back into place. No rush, just the slow rhythm of something that has been doing this all your life. Imagine, near the entrance of this quiet room, a small bench. You sit there by feeling the weight of your hips against the mattress, the way the surface gives, the contact of fabric under the back of your thighs. Your legs extend out in front of you or curl to the side, wherever they have chosen to rest. Your feet are like shoes that have been slipped off and left by the door. Feel the heels, the way they press into the bed, the slight resistance, then the gentle acceptance of that pressure. The mattress doesn't argue, it simply receives. Your toes can spread or soften. If they were curled without you noticing, they can uncurl now. No need to grip the edge of the day. This room has no edge you can fall from, only surfaces that meet you and hold you. Think of your hands as the last things you put down. Maybe they rest on your stomach, maybe by your sides, maybe one near your face. Wherever they are, feel their weight. The tiny warmth where skin meets skin, or skin meets fabric. Your fingers have been busy all day, typing, holding, scrolling, carrying, pointing, reaching. Now they are like keys on a hook by the door. Present, ready, but not in use. The air between your fingers is still, quiet. The space around your hands belongs to you. Around you, the quiet room has its own gentle character. If there is any light at all, it is soft. The kind of light that doesn't ask anything of you. The kind of light that lets corners be shadows and doesn't insist on details. If there is darkness, it is like the darkness of a familiar hallway at night. You know where the furniture is without seeing it. You know where the door is. Your body recognizes the layout. Here, in this room, time behaves differently. The clocks may still be ticking somewhere, but they are muffled by walls and distance. The schedule of the day stays out in the corridor where you left your bag. Inside, there is only this, the slow rhythm of your breath, the steady support beneath you, the gentle enclosure of the air. Every exhale is like closing the door a little more firmly. Not slammed, just pressed until it clicks into place. If thoughts arrive, imagine they knock lightly and then realize the door is already closed. They might linger for a moment, like someone in a hallway checking their pockets. Then they wander away on their own. You do not have to follow them. Your attention can stay here, with the simple furniture of your body, the curve of your spine against the bed, the way your lower back settles, maybe finding a more comfortable angle, the weight of your rib cage expanding and relaxing, the steady, grounded presence of your pelvis, like the solid base of a chair that never tips. Above you, the ceiling is like a lid on a box. It completes the room, holds in the quiet. You don't need to see it to know it is there, keeping the vastness of the outside world at a gentle distance. Within these walls, the world becomes small enough to manage. Just this bed, just this breath, just this body. If any part of you still feels like it is standing in the doorway, half in and half out, you can imagine that part taking one small step further into the room. Maybe that is your mind, still replaying conversations or lists. Maybe it is a tightness somewhere in your chest or stomach, hovering near the threshold. As you breathe out, imagine that tightness hanging your coat on the hook. It doesn't disappear. It simply rests. It knows where to find you later, if needed. For now, it can stay by the door. You move deeper into the room by feeling heavier where you lie. Heavier in the shoulders, heavier in the hips, heavier in the back of the legs. Not weighed down by anything, just more in contact. More here. The bed is like a wide, soft floor in the middle of this quiet room. It receives every part of you without question. Above the covers, the air is like a light blanket you cannot see. It drapes over your face, your neck, your hands. Below the covers, the fabric is like a second skin, warm and close. Everything that needed watching has been watched. Everything that needed carrying has been set down by the door. Now, in this quiet room, your only job is to be the person who has come home. Breath by breath, your presence fills the space. The walls hold their stillness. The floor holds your weight. The bed holds your shape. And the door to the day rests gently closed behind you. The room around you has its own quiet. Walls standing close, not crowding, just gently enclosing the space you are in. They hold the stillness the way cupped hands hold warm water. Nothing spills out. Nothing rushes in. Soft light seems to rest in the corners. Not bright, not sharp. More like the glow that lingers after a lamp has been turned low for a long time. It doesn't ask anything of your eyes. It simply keeps the darkness from feeling empty. Your body is part of this room now. The surface beneath you receives your weight with steady patience. Fabric gives a little under your shoulders, under the back of your head, under the curve of your hips. Every place you touch is a small, quiet agreement between you and what holds you up. The air has a temperature that meets your skin without surprise. Not too cool, not too warm. Just a soft presence, moving so slowly you barely notice it. It brushes the fine hairs on your arms, the line of your jaw, the space around your neck. In this indoor sanctuary, everything has softened edges. Even the furniture, whether you can see it or not, seems to have rounded its corners for the night. Chairs resting where they are. A table standing steady, its surface cleared of the day. Your limbs have their own gentle weight. Notice how your arms settle toward the bed or the couch or the blanket beneath them. The pull of gravity is unhurried, constant, reassuring. Your hands may be open or lightly folded or resting palm down, feeling the faint texture of fabric. The weight of your heels against the mattress is its own small story. They press down, and the material beneath them dips just slightly, cradling that pressure. No complaint, no resistance, just a quiet, steady holding. Somewhere in the room, there may be the faint outline of familiar objects. A bookshelf standing like a silent companion. A lamp with its shade dim, its switch untouched. Perhaps a chair with a blanket draped over the back, the fabric folding into soft, sleepy shapes. The room knows you. It has watched you move through days, through evenings, through moments of rushing and moments of pause. Now it is simply here with you in this slower time. Its walls keep the outside world at a gentle distance. Any sounds that exist are far away, cushioned by these walls. Maybe the muted hum of something in another part of the home. A distant car passing, then gone. Footsteps in a hallway, fading, then quiet again. Each exhale settles a little deeper into this space. You breathe out, and the room seems to breathe out with you. The air around your face warms slightly with each breath, then cools again as it moves away. This rhythm is easy, familiar, almost unnoticed. Overhead, the ceiling rests like a calm, protective lid. It doesn't press down. It simply defines the top of your little world for the night. Above it, there may be other rooms, other lives, but they feel far, far away from where you are lying now. The corners of the room feel especially soft tonight. Those places where walls meet each other, where the floor meets the baseboard. They are like quiet pockets where the day has drained away and pooled into stillness. Nothing sharp lives there now, only the slow settling of time. Imagine one particular corner, the one closest to where you rest. In that corner, the light is gentle, like the inside of a closed eyelid. Dust that might float there during the day has settled down. Even the air seems to be sitting, not standing. Your bed or couch or resting place feels like the softest corner of all. The place where your body meets the room in the most complete way. Fabric against your back, against the backs of your legs, against your sides. The material warms slowly where your skin has been resting. If there is a blanket over you, feel how it drapes, not heavy, not light, just enough. It follows the shape of your body, smoothing over your shoulders, your chest, your legs. Between the blanket and the bed, you are held from above and below. A quiet, steady sandwich of softness and support. Your head has its own little nest. The pillow gives way under the weight of your skull, shaping itself around you. The back of your neck lengthens just a little, finding its own most comfortable angle. The skin of your cheek may feel the coolness or warmth of the pillowcase, a gentle reminder that you are here. In this room, you do not have to be alert. You do not have to keep watch over anything. The door is closed, or maybe just mostly closed, and that is enough. The threshold between this room and the rest of the world is quiet. Somewhere near, there might be a small piece of furniture that always stays where it is. A bedside table, a dresser, a shelf. It has seen countless nights like this, standing steady while you sleep. Its edges have softened in your mind, becoming part of the background comfort of this place. The floor beneath everything is firm and unmoving. It carries the weight of the bed, the furniture, the air, and you. You do not feel it directly, but it is there, like a calm foundation beneath the softness. This room rests on it, and you rest in the room. With every slow breath, your body seems to sink a fraction deeper into the surfaces that hold it. Not actually moving, just settling in your awareness. Muscles loosening their grip, joints easing into their natural place. The skin along your back feels the broad, steady contact with what supports you. No single point of pressure, just a wide, even embrace. Your shoulder blades, the back of your ribs, the small of your back, all lying in a quiet row. Nothing to brace against, nothing to push toward. Even your face can soften here. The small muscles around your eyes, around your mouth, around your jaw. They have spent the day responding to expressions, to words, to thoughts. Now, in this gentle room, they can simply rest. The air in this sanctuary feels like it has been here a long time. It has cooled and warmed with the hours. It has carried voices and then carried silence. Tonight, it carries only the faint sound of your breathing and the soft hush of the room itself. If there is a curtain or a shade at a window, imagine how it hangs in place. Fabric resting in quiet folds, unmoving, or perhaps just barely stirring. It filters whatever light might be outside, turning it into a muted, comfortable glow. The window behind it is closed, keeping the outside air where it is. This indoor space is like a nest built of familiar things. Walls, ceiling, floor, furniture, fabric, air. Each piece doing its small, simple job. Together, they create a soft container around your tired body. You might feel the way your chest rises toward the ceiling with each inhale, then gently settles back toward the mattress with each exhale. This up and down movement is so quiet that the room barely notices. It simply makes space for it, the way it makes space for everything you bring here. If your mind drifts to something from the day, the room does not react. The walls do not lean in. The light does not change. Everything stays steady, giving your thoughts a soft place to pass through without catching. Your legs are supported from hip to heel. The backs of your thighs, your knees, your calves, all resting. Fabric and cushioning meet them without urgency, without demand. They can be still, even if they are usually busy, carrying you from place to place. In one corner of the ceiling, there might be a tiny imperfection, a faint line in the paint, a small shadow where two surfaces meet. It has been there longer than your latest worries. It will be there long after they have faded. This room has seen you at your most hurried and your most quiet. Right now, it leans toward the quiet. Everything in it has softened its voice. Even the objects seem to speak in whispers, if they speak at all. As you lie here, the sense of being held by this space grows a little clearer, not held tightly, just gently surrounded, like sitting in the deepest part of a soft chair. Edges around you, support beneath you, open air above you. Your breathing continues, steady and unforced. The bed continues to hold you. The walls continue to stand. Soft corners gather the last bits of the day and tuck them away, out of reach. Here, in this indoor sanctuary, your body can finally match the room. Quiet, unhurried, settled into the softest corners of the night. Each exhale settles a little more of the day. The air around your face is quiet. The weight of your body is steady. There is nowhere else to manage, nowhere else to hold together. In your mind, imagine a simple container beside you. It could be a box or a chest or a lidded basket. Nothing ornate, just something solid with room inside. Picture it close enough that you could reach it without effort. You do not need to move your real body. Only your attention moves. Softly, gently, as if you were turning your head in slow motion. Feel your next inhale arrive. Notice the way your ribs widen, just a little, like a door opening on quiet hinges. Then follow the exhale as it moves down and out and away. Each breath is a small visit to that container. This container is made to hold things. It has weight. It has edges. It knows how to keep what is placed inside from spilling out. Sense the surface of it. Maybe it is smooth, cool to the touch. Maybe it has a faint texture like worn wood that has been handled many times. It is dependable, patient, unhurried. As you breathe in, feel the presence of everything that has been crowding your mind. Tasks, conversations, loose ends that tug at you from different directions. As you breathe out, imagine those pieces of thought gently sliding toward the container. Not forced, not pushed, just guided by the slow gravity of your exhale. As if your breath were a soft current carrying them to the edge. The next inhale arrives on its own. Notice the coolness at the tip of your nose or the back of your throat. Notice the slight stretch across your chest. Then, on the exhale, one small worry steps over the edge and into the container. You might picture it as a folded note, or a tiny stone, or a faint thread of color. Whatever shape it takes, see it resting inside. The container accepts it without comment. No judgment, no story, just holding. Your jaw can loosen a little now, tongue resting heavy in your mouth. The muscles around your eyes softening like curtains easing towards stillness. The container waits, its space open, its lid easy to reach. With your next breath in, feel any tightness in your shoulders. Noticing is enough. You do not have to fix it. Just acknowledge the weight that has gathered there during the day. As you breathe out, imagine lifting that weight out of your shoulders and placing it in the container. Not all at once, maybe just a thin layer, like dust brushed from a shelf. It settles inside, and the walls hold it. The weight of your hands has its own quiet gravity. Fingers relaxed, palms resting where they have landed. Inside your hands, there may be tension from everything they have carried, typed, held, and reached for. Bring an inhale gently into that awareness. Then send the exhale toward the container again. Any leftover urgency in your hands, any restless need to do, to fix, to respond, can drift out of them. It moves along an invisible path, from your hands to the waiting space. The container grows a little fuller, and you feel a little more spacious. Here, in this stillness, the container becomes like a room of its own. A small, enclosed room that lives just beside you. Its walls are thick enough that the contents grow quiet once they are inside. Even loud thoughts become muffled there, like footsteps heard through a closed door. Breathe into your chest again. Feel the rise. Feel the fall. With each cycle, imagine another thread of concern, stepping gently across the threshold into that room. You might place unfinished conversations there, questions that have no answer tonight, lists that try to follow you into bed. They can wait in that room, resting on an invisible shelf. Your breath moves like someone closing a door with care, not slamming, just easing it until it meets the frame and the latch catches with a soft click. Inside, everything stays exactly as it is, but it no longer presses against you. Notice the back of your head, the way it meets the pillow or surface beneath. There is a slight pressure there, a contact point. Imagine that any lingering noise in your thoughts drains backward, down through that contact, and flows along the floor to the container room. The walls receive it. They know what to do. Around your eyes, there is a quiet darkness. Behind your eyelids, shapes and flickers may come and go. You do not need to follow them. They, too, can be invited into the room. With your next exhale, imagine that room growing just a little more spacious. Not larger in distance, but deeper, like a drawer that slides back farther than you expected. There is more than enough room for every thought that wants to rest there. Nothing is crowded. Nothing is pushed aside. Your breathing has its own slow rhythm now. In, out. Each exhale, another gentle transfer, another small unloading. If a thought insists on returning, that is all right. You can acknowledge it, like noticing an object in your hand. Then, with the next breath out, you can set it back into the container. It will be there in the morning, unchanged, waiting if you need it. Feel your chest from the inside, as if you were standing in a quiet hallway behind your ribs. The air moves through, soft and steady. The busyness of the day stays outside that hallway now, in the room designed to hold it. In here, only the soundless rhythm of breath remains. Your abdomen rises and falls, a gentle tide within your own body. With each rise, you gather what little tension remains. With each fall, it rolls away, under the door, into the container room. The floor there holds it all without strain. The container does not leak. It does not forget. Everything you have placed there will stay just as you left it, untouched while you rest. You can visit it later, when you have more light, more energy, more space. For now, feel how much lighter your body is, without all of that pressed against your mind. The weight has shifted from inside you to beside you. Your muscles respond, softening, unwinding, no longer braced for the next demand. The room of the container stands watch, so your body does not have to. Notice the quiet behind your thoughts. Not the thoughts themselves, but the open space they float in. That open space is like the air inside an empty vessel, calm and still. You are resting in that space now. Breath continues on its own. Inhale arriving, exhale departing. The container holds the overwhelm outside, like a cloak hung neatly on a hook by the door. You are here, inside your own soft interior room. Walls of muscle and bone around you, breath moving gently through. Outside that, the container keeps its patient vigil. Inside this moment, there is only the simple motion of breathing and the deep, quiet relief of not having to carry everything at once. Each exhale settles a little deeper now. As the breath moves in and out, imagine a room inside you, quiet and familiar. Along its walls, small lanterns hang, each one a point of gentle light. They've been burning all day, watching, thinking, tending to everything. Now, one by one, they are ready to dim. Feel the air enter your nose, cool and soft. As it moves down into your chest, picture the lanterns brightening just slightly with the inhale. And as you breathe out, imagine each flame drawing in, shrinking to a softer glow. Not going out, just easing back, resting. The weight of your body has its own gravity. The back of your head, the heaviness of your shoulders, the quiet pull of your legs. Inside this weight, that inner room holds steady. The lanterns do not flicker with effort now. They sway lazily, as if a very slow breath moves through them, the same rhythm as your own. With your next inhale, notice your forehead. So much light gathers there during the day. Thoughts, plans, questions. In this inner room, a lantern hangs at the center of your brow. See its light soften. The glass around it grows warmer, more opaque. The sharp edges of brightness blur, like a lamp seen through half-closed eyes. As you breathe out, feel the skin across your forehead smooth. Any tiny muscles that were still holding on can slacken. The lantern above them no longer needs to shine so hard. Its job for now is simply to glow faintly, like a nightlight left on in a hallway, enough to know the space is there, but not enough to keep anyone awake. The air around your eyes grows dimmer. Imagine 2 small candles at each temple, their flames tall and alert from hours of watching. With every slow exhale, those flames lean lower. The wax softens and pools. The light they cast pulls in closer to the wick, no longer reaching out to scan or search. Feel your eyelids from the inside, the gentle weight of them, the way they rest against your eyes like soft curtains drawn at the end of a long evening. Behind them, the world is shadowed. Any leftover flickers of brightness can sink back into the room, joining the quiet glow of the lanterns instead of pushing out into the dark. Your jaw has its own lantern too. Somewhere behind your cheeks, a small, steady light has been holding tension, ready to speak, to respond, to bite back words. On the next inhale, notice that area. On the exhale, imagine the lantern there being turned down with a slow, careful hand. The flame curls smaller, more compact. The muscles around your mouth can loosen as if they are stepping away from that bright heat, finding cooler air. Let your tongue rest heavy in your mouth. It doesn't need to shape words now. The lantern that powered all that talking, all that swallowing back, is no longer bright. It's a quiet coal, just enough warmth to keep you comfortable, nothing more. Here, In this stillness, your neck and throat become a shaded hallway between lanterns. High above, the light at your brow is dim. Below, deeper in your chest, there is a softer glow waiting. With each breath, imagine the light moving down that hallway, like someone carrying a candle through a house, turning off switches as they pass. As the air flows down into your lungs, feel your shoulders. They have carried so much invisible weight. In the inner room, 2 lanterns sit above each shoulder, once burning like watchfires, always on alert. Now, with every exhale, see a hand gently cupping each flame, guarding it from any gust of thought, coaxing it smaller. The light folds inward. The shadows around your shoulders grow thicker, kinder. Notice how your shoulder blades rest against the surface beneath you. Imagine them as small shelves where those lanterns used to stand tall. Tonight, the shelves hold only a faint ring of light, like the last glow after a candle has been pinched out. The warmth lingers, but the brightness has gone. Your chest rises, it falls. Deep inside, at the center, there is a larger lantern. This one has been burning all day, keeping time with your heartbeat. With each inhale, the flame steadies. With each exhale, it softens, as if someone is slowly turning a dial, dimming the room. The walls of your inner space recede into shadow. The corners blur. Only the center glow remains, pulsing gently with the rhythm of your breath. Feel your ribs expand as the air fills you. On the out-breath, imagine the light within your chest spilling downward, not as a beam, but as a gentle fading. It reaches your stomach and becomes a low, amber glow, like embers in a hearth. Not demanding attention, simply existing, warm and quiet. The muscles of your abdomen can unhook from their usual bracing. Any tightness there can loosen, as if the light that kept everything held has been turned down. In the softer dimness, your belly can rise and fall freely, like a curtain moving with the slowest breeze. Further down, your hips rest with a solid weight. Picture 2 lanterns placed there, one on each side, once bright enough to keep you ready to move, to stand, to go. Now, as the breath continues, imagine someone gently placing frosted glass around each one. The glass softens the light, turning it into a muted glow. The sharpness of readiness dissolves into a heavy, grounded feeling. The weight of your hips against the bed or the surface beneath you deepens. The shadows around them thicken in a comforting way, like dusk filling a familiar room. The lanterns there do not need to shine out into the world. They simply keep a quiet presence within, a reminder that you are here, resting. Your thighs, your knees, your calves. Each part has its own small candle, its own little watchlight that has kept you ready to step, to climb, to brace. As you breathe, imagine walking through this inner room, moving from lantern to lantern. At each one, you pause. You lower the wick. You watch the flame shrink from a bright, busy light to a tiny, steady point. Feel the back of your legs, the way they press down, the way the fabric beneath them yields just enough. In the dimming light, these sensations become simpler. Not problems to solve, just quiet facts. Weight, contact, stillness. Down at your ankles and feet, the last of the lanterns stand. They have been quick lights, sparking every time you moved, turned, rushed. Now, with the slowness of your breathing, their flames stretch tall for a moment on the inhale, then curl inward on the exhale, growing shorter, more subdued. Notice the heaviness in your heels. Imagine the lanterns there as almost out, only a faint ring of orange at the base of the wick, enough to know where your feet are in this inner darkness, not enough to stir you. The room inside you is mostly shadow now, soft, velvety, kind. The lanterns remain, but their light is hushed. No glare, no sharp edges, just small pools of warmth surrounded by gentle dark. Behind your closed eyes, this inner space feels spacious and quiet. Thoughts that once flashed like bright sparks now appear more like distant reflections on glass, dim and slow. They do not need to be chased. They can pass through the half-light and dissolve into the corners. Each breath is like a hand on the dimmer switch, turning the inner lights down another small notch. Inhale, and the glow steadies. Exhale, and the shadows deepen, wrapping around you from the inside, like a soft blanket of dusk. Nothing in this room is urgent. Every lantern that needed to shine has done its work. The walls hold their quiet. The air is still. The glow that remains is gentle enough to sleep beside. Stay with this soft inner dimness, the breath moving, the lanterns resting, the quiet of your own shadows, deep and kind, gathering around you as the night moves on. Each exhale settles a little further inside. Breath moves in, breath moves out, like a page turning itself softly, without effort. Somewhere within you, a quiet building begins to appear. Not outside, but deep in the space behind your closed eyes. A long, calm library of your own thoughts and days. It is already here, waiting, with its gentle order and quiet shelves. Feel the weight of your body as the doorway, the heaviness of your limbs as the threshold. As you breathe out, you step deeper into this inner library, without moving anything at all. The air here is cool and still. It smells faintly of paper, of cloth, of time that has been carefully kept. Walls rise around you like tall bookcases lined with the volumes of all the moments that have passed. Your breath is the soft rustle of pages. Inhale, the page lifts. Exhale, the page settles down again. No rush, no pressure to read or to remember. Just the slow, steady turning of what has already been lived. Notice the way your chest rises, like a book being opened. Notice the way it falls, like a cover closing for the night. Each inhale opens a little space. Each exhale closes something gently, with care. Behind your forehead, behind the muscles of your face, rows of shelves stretch out. Some hold bright, busy chapters from your day. Some hold small, quiet notes that barely take up any room at all. All of them have a place. Your eyes, resting closed, are like doors drawn shut on this archive. No more new pages coming in tonight. Just the quiet work of shelving what is already here. Feel the tiny muscles around your eyes loosen, as if the reading lamps are being dimmed. The brow softens, like a well-used book spine relaxing on a shelf. The cheeks release their hold, as if setting down a heavy volume. Your jaw relaxes, unhooking from the stories of the day. Imagine it as a book you are holding too tightly. Now the fingers of your jaw unclasp. The cover closes with a soft, padded thud. The story can rest where it is. It does not need to be finished tonight. Breath moves in, breath moves out. With each cycle, a quiet librarian within you walks the aisles. They carry no urgency. They simply place one thought, one memory, one worry at a time, onto its waiting shelf. As your shoulders sink deeper into where you rest, feel them as high shelves being emptied of their stacks. All the things you carried on them today, all the tasks, the roles, the expectations, are being slid one by one into their proper places. You do not have to sort them. You do not have to decide what is important. The simple rhythm of your breath does that for you, moving through you like quiet footsteps on a soft floor. Inhale, a thought appears in your awareness. Exhale, it is placed on a shelf. Inhale, another detail, another unfinished sentence. Exhale, it too is set down, spine out, lined up with the others. Feel the weight of your hands. Their quiet heaviness is like thick, bound volumes resting on a table. Nothing to sign, nothing to hold. Just the solid presence of hands that have done enough for one day. As your fingers soften, imagine thin slips of paper sliding between pages. Little bookmarks of intention, of "I'll come back to this later." You do not have to solve anything now. You are simply marking where you left off and closing the book for the night. Your back settles more fully. Each vertebra is like a sturdy shelf bracket, no longer straining under too many stacked thoughts. With every exhale, a few more mental piles are lifted away, carried down the aisle, and filed where they can wait. Notice the quiet space at the back of your mind, the farthest row where the lights are already dim. Here, the oldest stories rest. Here, the longest days have already been bound and stored. They do not call for you. They simply exist, held by the shelves, gathering a soft, peaceful dust. Your breath reaches down into your ribs. As it does, imagine sliding a book into place with a gentle push. The small click as it meets its neighbors. That tiny feeling of completion, of "this belongs here," echoes through your body as a deeper ease. Hips heavy, legs stretching out like quiet aisles. Between them, nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just long corridors of stillness. On either side, the books of your plans, your worries, your hopes, all resting upright, closed for now. The weight of your heels against the surface beneath you is like the solid base of the shelves, rooted and unmoving. They hold everything above without effort. You do not need to help them. You can sink, and they will remain steady. Thoughts may still wander in. A sentence from today, a scene from earlier, a question about tomorrow. Each one is just another book being returned to the desk. You can mentally slide it across the counter. To that inner librarian who smiles without hurry, stamps it, and carries it away. Inhale, receive the thought. Exhale, watch it being walked back between the stacks, placed gently where it will wait. No thought is lost. Nothing is thrown away. It is simply not for right now. The muscles of your neck soften, as if the reading room clock has stopped its ticking. Time stretches out into a long, quiet hallway. There is no closing time you have to race against. The library of you is always here, always patient. If a worry clings, imagine it as a book still open on a table. You can see its pages, half read, full of questions. Notice your breath touching it. On the inhale, you see the words. On the exhale, you reach out, smooth the page, and lower the cover. Feel the small relief in that movement. The way the cover, once closed, holds everything inside, without needing your attention. You can even stack another book on top of it, a heavier, calmer volume titled Rest. Its weight keeps the others from opening again tonight. All around you, the shelves grow quieter. The thoughts that were standing in the aisles have all found their places. The day's pages have been gathered, aligned, and closed. Your breathing now is like the soft hum of the building itself. Barely there, but steady. Walls holding their silence. Shelves holding their stories. You held within it all. If a stray idea appears at the edge of awareness, you can imagine sliding it into a thin file, placing it in a labeled box, and setting that box on a shelf marked tomorrow. It will be there when you need it. It does not need your hands on it now. Feel how much space opens up inside. Once the books are all back where they belong, empty tables, clear aisles, a wide, open reading room in your chest that no one is using. In this cleared, quiet library, your body is the last light being dimmed. Muscles soft, like pages that have been turned 1,000 times. Breath slow, like a librarian taking one last walk, running fingertips along the spines, making sure everything is at rest. You are here, in this inner archive, with every part of your day carefully shelved. Nothing is missing, nothing is pressing. The covers have closed. The catalogue is quiet. All that remains is the gentle rhythm of your breathing, moving through the stacks, through your chest, through your whole body, like a soft, continuous whisper. Enough for today. Enough for now. Each exhale now has its own quiet rhythm, like a slow swing in the dark, moving back and forth without effort. The room around you begins to soften. Edges blur, corners grow quieter. It is as if gravity itself is loosening its grip, one small thread at a time. Imagine, without strain, that this very room is hanging gently in the sky, suspended like a nest held in invisible branches, high above any noise, any demand, any rushing thought. Your body lies where it is, but the space around you is changing. Walls become lighter, as if made from the same soft material as clouds. The ceiling is no longer heavy overhead. It feels like a canopy of pale, weightless fabric, barely touching the air. Breathe in and notice the faint pull of your chest rising. Breathe out and imagine the entire room drifting a fraction of an inch upward. Not enough to startle, just enough to feel the suggestion of floating. The surface beneath you is your hammock in this sky room. It holds the full shape of you, every curve, every angle. Where your body meets the mattress or the cushion, that place becomes a woven cradle. Gentle threads, strong and soft, supporting you from below. Your heels rest in their own small hollows. Notice the way they sink, how the fabric yields, how it remembers their shape. Your calves are draped over this unseen hammock, the weight slowly dissolving into it. It does not ask you to hold yourself up. It does that part for you. With your next breath in, feel the coolness of air at the tip of your nose. With your breath out, picture the whole room rocking, the slightest sway, side to side. A motion so slow you might almost miss it. A motion that your body understands instantly. Your legs grow lighter first, from the toes, up through the arches of your feet, up through your ankles, as if someone has untied little knots of heaviness around them. The hammock of the room takes that weight and spreads it out into the air. The muscles along your shins soften. Your knees loosen, no longer needing to brace or hold. Thighs release downward into that woven cradle, then seem to forget which way is down at all. They are simply held mid-air in this nest of sky. Notice your breath again. The inhale moves through you like a gentle lift. The exhale is a long, slow settling. Lift and settle. Lift and settle. With each settling, imagine the room floating a little higher into thinner, quieter air, the kind of air that muffles sound, where even thoughts become softer at the edges. Your hips rest in the deepest part of this sky hammock, the center of the nest. All the effort you've carried there during the day begins to pour out, like sand slipping from a bag with a small tear. Grain by grain, the weight leaves your hips and disappears into the woven air beneath you. The small muscles along your lower back uncurl. They spread, like fingers opening after holding too tightly. The hammock of the room adjusts, tilts, by a breath to meet them. It fits you more closely with every exhale. Above your waist, your ribs move with your breathing. You might sense the slight expansion, the gentle release, as if your rib cage is its own small room inside you, also becoming weightless. Each breath lifts that inner room, suspends it in stillness, then sets it down again. Feel how your shoulders rest. Not dragged down, not pulled forward. They are draped across this cloud-like sling, as though the sky itself is carrying them. Any tightness there can loosen, because they are no longer responsible for holding anything up. Your arms lie where they are, but in this floating room they feel unanchored. From shoulders to elbows, from elbows to wrists, they lengthen and soften. The pull of the earth on them is faint now, almost imaginary. It is as if threads of light are attached to them, keeping them gently suspended. Notice your hands, the small, intricate bones, the tendons that have typed, carried, reached, gripped. Now they rest in their own little pockets of air, fingers curling or uncurling however they wish. With each exhale, imagine the room swinging once, slowly, through the sky. Not far, not fast, just a quiet arc, like a cradle moved by the softest breeze. Your body moves with it, not against it. The air in this sky room has its own texture, soft and almost velvety as it moves over your face, cooler near the inhale, warmer near the exhale. It brushes your cheeks, your forehead, the bridge of your nose, as if smoothing out any remaining tension. Behind your closed eyes, there is a wide, dim space. You might sense it like the open sky at night, stretching in all directions. Thoughts can appear there, then drift away like faint wisps, too light to stay. They have nothing solid to cling to in this weightless room. Your jaw loosens, the tongue resting comfortably. The tiny muscles around your mouth slacken. Even your eyelids feel as though they are being gently supported from above, instead of pulled down. The hammock of air holds every part of your face in quiet suspension. Here, in this floating nest, time feels different. Moments stretch out, unhurried. There is no need to arrive anywhere, because you are already held exactly where you are. The room itself is your resting place in the sky. If any part of your body still feels heavy, simply notice it. Bring one soft breath to that place. On the exhale, imagine the hammock shifting just enough to catch that weight and lift it from you. It doesn't vanish. It is simply stored in the woven air, far lighter than before. Your spine lies along the center of this cradle, from the base of your skull, down the neck, between the shoulder blades, all the way to the tailbone. Each small bone, each space between them, is gently rocked by the slow swing of the room. Like beads on a loose string, they settle into their own easy alignment. Now the whole outline of your body feels less defined. Edges blur into the air around you. You might not be able to tell where your back ends and the surface begins, where your legs end and the hammock continues. Everything is part of the same soft structure, hanging quietly in the sky. Breath moves through this space as if the room itself is breathing with you. When you inhale, the walls expand a little, the ceiling lifts. When you exhale, everything draws in closer, more snug, more cocooned. A gentle pulse shared between your body and the air that holds it. Far below this suspended room, the world continues on. But up here, nothing presses in. The sky cradles the nest cradles the room cradles you. You can rest in this sense of almost floating, not needing to rise, not needing to move, just being carried as the hammock of the room sways in its own slow, endless rhythm. Each breath now is like a tiny, invisible hand, smoothing the surface of your thoughts. Softer, quieter, lighter. And as you drift in this weightless room in the sky, your body remembers how to do the simplest thing. To be here, to be held, to gently, gradually fall toward sleep as the nest of air rocks you deeper into stillness. The weight of your body is known now, the way it rests, the way it settles into what holds it. Above that stillness, imagine a different kind of space. Not a ceiling, not a room. A night sky stretching out in every direction. High above the walls, far beyond any roof. It begins close at first. Just a dark softness, hanging above you like a quiet blanket. Not heavy, just present. As you breathe out, that darkness seems to widen. The edges move away. The room falls back, and what remains is a gentle, endless night. Stars appear slowly, not all at once. One, then another. Tiny, steady points of light scattered in the distance. They do not hurry. They do not try to be anything other than what they are. Some are bright, sharp. Some are faint, like memories of light. Some are so far away they are almost not there at all. Almost imagined. You lie there and the sky opens above you. Not as something to reach, just as something that is. The walls that used to be around you become less clear. They fade into the dark, like lines drawn in sand, slowly brushed away by the night. Your body has its own quiet gravity. The weight of your back, the gentle pull of your shoulders, the way your head rests, exactly where it needs to be. And above that weight, there is this great, soft distance. A vast, dark field with stars scattered across it. Silent, unconcerned. Each exhale seems to carry you a little farther from the edges of yourself. The outline of your arms, the line of your legs, they begin to blur like shapes seen from far away. Thoughts, when they come, appear like small moving lights in that sky. A brief flicker, a slow trail. They drift across your awareness the way a satellite moves across the stars. Visible for a moment, then gone into the dark again. You do not need to follow them. You can simply notice how small they look from here. The night around you is not empty. It has a texture, a quiet thickness. Like soft velvet you cannot quite touch, but you can feel its presence. The darkness holds everything. The distant stars, the quiet paths of wandering thoughts, the simple weight of your breathing body far below. You may sense the air near your face, cooler than the warmth of your skin. It feels like the edge of a gentle atmosphere, a thin layer between you and the endless sky. Far above, some stars seem to pulse, not urgently, just a slow, living shimmer. Light that has traveled a very long way, arriving here tonight without asking for anything. Time behaves differently here. It stretches out, like the distance between one star and the next. Minutes lose their sharpness. They become soft, like distant constellations, whose shapes you no longer need to name. You are not standing under this sky. You are not even separate from it. It is as if your awareness has drifted up, out of the walls, beyond the building, until you are suspended in the dark itself. No floor beneath your feet, no ceiling above your head, just a gentle sense of being held in all directions at once. Somewhere far below the world continues. Streets, rooms, clocks. Up here, they are like tiny, forgotten lights on the surface of a planet you once visited. Important there, very small from here. Another breath moves through you, soft, unforced. As it leaves, imagine it as a faint trail of warmth rising into the night. It lifts, thins, and disappears among the stars. The next breath arrives on its own, like a slow comet returning, circling back to you, then gliding away again. There is nothing to fix in this sky, no pattern to solve, no right way for the stars to be arranged. They are scattered, uneven, beautiful in their quiet disorder. Just as your thoughts are, just as your feelings are. From this distance, even the busiest thought is only a pinprick of light. It appears. It shines for a while. It fades into the dark. You might notice how the edges of your chest feel less defined. The border between you and the space around you grows thin, as if your ribs were windows, and the night could pass through them without effort. The darkness is not cold. It has a calm, gentle temperature, like the cool side of a pillow that has been resting, untouched, waiting for your cheek. Far, far away, you might imagine a single, slow-moving star, not racing, just gliding along its path. Its journey takes years, lifetimes, more than you can count. From where you are, it seems almost still. That is how long its path is, how wide the sky is. Your sense of here stretches. It no longer stops at your skin. It reaches up, out, into that open dark, until you feel as though you are both lying where you are and floating somewhere high above the world. Any remaining tension in your body becomes another small object in this space, a tiny, dense point, like a dim star. You do not push it away. You simply give it room. In the vastness of this night, even tightness has space around it. It can soften whenever it is ready, or simply rest there, held by the dark. If a worry appears, see it as a brief flare on the horizon of your mind, a little burst of brightness that cannot last. It rises, it glows, it fades back into the background of infinite, quiet black. You do not have to chase it. You can watch it from a great distance, as though it belonged to another sky altogether. The longer you rest here, the more the idea of walls feels like a memory. Once, there were edges. Once, there were corners and ceilings and doors. Now there is only this soft, endless expanse. Above, below, all around. Your body knows where it is. Held by the bed, supported in every place it touches. Your mind, though, is floating somewhere between stars. Not lost, just unbound. The darkness seems to cradle you like a vast invisible hand, not closing, not gripping, just gently cupped around your presence. In this place, thoughts can arrive late, like travelers missing their train. They wander in, look around, realize there is nowhere urgent to be, and drift back out into the night. Every breath is another small orbit, in, out. A slow circling that requires no effort from you. The stars remain, quiet witnesses, far away, yet somehow intimate, as if they have always known you from this angle, from this distance. You do not need to name constellations. You do not need to remember how the sky looked on any other night. This one is enough. Just this wide, dark space. Just these scattered points of light. Just this feeling of being suspended, weightless and held, in a night that has no walls at all. The watcher has been working for a long time. That part of you that scans and checks and stays on alert. It has been standing at its post, just beyond the edge of sleep, noticing every sound, every thought, every tiny change. Feel how tired that watcher is, not in a dramatic way, just a quiet, steady tiredness, like someone who has stayed up late, long after the house has gone still, because they thought someone needed to stay awake. In this quiet place inside you, there is a small resting spot for the watcher. It is close, not far away at all, almost like a chair that has always been there just to the side of where the watcher stands. Simple, soft, waiting. The watcher has been standing on a kind of inner threshold, feet planted, shoulders slightly raised, eyes open in the dark. You might sense that in your body, maybe as a faint tightness behind the eyes, or a slight lift in the shoulders. A subtle leaning forward, as if listening for what might come next. Nothing is coming next. The corridor in front of the watcher is empty. The doors are closed. The hallway lights are dim. Nothing moves. You do not have to make this watcher relax. You do not have to talk it into anything. Just notice that the post is quiet now. The watcher looks down at its own hands. They have been ready to act, to respond, to hold everything together. Now there is nothing to hold. The hands can hang loosely at the sides. Maybe your own hands feel a little heavier. The fingers not needing to curl or grip. The palms resting where they are, with a small, steady weight. The watcher glances back at that resting place, that simple seat in the quiet. It has a softness to it, like a cushion that remembers every shape that has ever sat there. No edges, no sharp lines, just a gentle curve that fits whatever needs to rest. There is a small pause, the last habit of checking. One more look down the hallway of your thoughts. Even there, everything has grown still. Thoughts that once rushed by are slower now. They move like distant figures at the far end of the corridor, out of focus, unclear. Their footsteps do not reach this place. Each breath you take is like the soft dimming of a light. A little less brightness, a little more shade, enough to see, but not enough to stay alert. The watcher feels the weight in his legs, the long, quiet ache of standing, knees that have been slightly bent, ready to move. Now they soften. Perhaps you notice that in your own legs, a small unwinding in the thighs, the way the knees sink just a touch deeper into stillness, calves no longer ready to spring. The watcher turns toward the resting place. There is no rush, no urgency, just a slow, thoughtful turning. A choice made not with words, but with the body itself. It takes a step away from its post. In that step, something changes. The sense of being on guard loosens. The edges of the hallway blur. Walls that once felt close and defined now feel further away, softer, as if made of something that can gently bend. Another breath moves through you, unhurried. The air comes in. The air goes out. Nothing to manage. The watcher reaches the seat. You might picture it as a low, wide chair, or a cushioned bench in the most silent corner of an inner room. The fabric is cool at first, then warms to meet the shape that settles into it. As the watcher sits down, the spine that has been so straight begins to curve. The shoulders drop just a little. The head tilts forward, as if listening now not for the world, but for the soft sound of its own breathing. Feel how your own spine responds, how it eases into the support beneath you, how the back no longer needs to hold itself quite so upright. The surface under you takes more of your weight. The watcher has always stood between you and what might happen. Now it sits with you, not in front, not guarding the door, just beside you in the same quiet. Its eyes grow heavier. The room inside you, where this is happening, has a stillness that deepens with each exhale. Dust that once hung in the air has settled. The floor is steady. The walls hold their calm. The watcher's gaze softens. It no longer tracks every movement of thought. If a thought passes by, It is like a faint shadow on a far wall, not something to follow, not something to name. There may still be small sounds, tiny creaks in the structure of your day, echoes of conversations, little flashes of what needs doing tomorrow. The watcher hears them, but from here, seated, they sound far away, like someone closing a door at the end of a long hallway. A brief sound, then silence again. Notice the weight of your head, how it rests where it is. Neck muscles easing, even by a fraction. Jaw softening. Tongue resting lower in the mouth. The watcher feels that same heaviness, a pleasant heaviness, like a hood being gently lowered over the senses, not shutting anything out, just dimming the brightness. Breath continues on its own, in, out, a slow rhythm that asks for nothing from you. The watcher's hands, once ready to reach out, now lie open, one on each leg, or folded loosely. The fingers are no longer listening for danger. They are simply hands, warm, still. In this resting place, time becomes thin. Minutes do not line up in a row. They pool together like soft fabric gathered in the lap. You cannot quite tell where one ends and the next begins. And it does not matter. The watcher's job is not needed here. Not in this moment, not in this room of quiet. If a part of you still wants to stand, that is all right. It can stand nearby, gently. It does not need to scan. Just stand and breathe. But the main watcher, the one that has worked so hard, is seated now. Its breathing has matched yours. Slow, even, barely stirring the air. You might sense a small distance between yourself and your thoughts, as if they are happening in the hallway outside this room. Muffled, softened, you are here where the watcher rests. The edges of your body are less clear. The line where your skin meets the air is hazy, like a drawing smudged with a gentle thumb. Contours fading into the surrounding quiet. The watcher feels that too. It no longer knows exactly where its duties begin and end. They blur into the cushion, into the room, into the stillness. There is nothing to hold together right now. The watcher leans back. The support behind it is steady and kind. It receives the whole weight without complaint. Back, shoulders, head, all finding their place. Your own back is doing the same, sinking, merging with what supports you, as if the surface beneath you is slightly deeper than it appears, as if it can hold more of you than you thought. Eyes may be closed or half closed. Either way, the world is dim. The watcher's inner eyes close as well. No more scanning, no more counting. Just a soft, ongoing awareness that everything that needed watching has been watched. For now, that is enough. In this quiet place, the watcher drifts, not away from you, but with you, into a slower rhythm, into a softer light, into the kind of rest that does not need to be guarded. Breath by breath, the post stands empty. The chair is occupied. The work is set down. And the part of you that has always stayed awake can finally rest. The last traces of sound are still fading, like the final notes of a music box winding down. A soft melody that has already forgotten itself. You might sense it, not as something you hear, but as something that has just passed through the room and is now dissolving into quiet. Each breath arrives in that quiet, and each breath leaves in that quiet. The room holds both. Imagine the music box somewhere nearby, not important where, small, familiar. Its lid once open, now slowly closing. A tiny mechanism inside that has done its work for the day. You can almost feel the last note hanging in the air, not quite sound anymore, more like a memory of sound. Your breathing moves through that same space, in, out, like a gentle, unhurried rhythm that does not need to match anything. The room has its own stillness now, as if the walls remember the melody and are resting with it. Nothing presses in. Nothing asks for your attention. Quiet gathers in the corners like soft folds of fabric, thick enough to hold every stray thought. You might sense your body as part of this quiet. The way your shoulders lie where they are. The way your hands settle without needing to do anything. The way the surface beneath you accepts your weight without question. If any trace of the old melody remains, it's faint. Maybe just a suggestion of a pattern, somewhere at the edge of awareness. Your mind doesn't need to follow it. It can drift the way a music box key unwinds, slower and slower, until motion itself becomes still. Breathing with the room now, as if the room itself has lungs. The air moves in, and the air moves out. Walls, ceiling, floor, all rising and falling together in a slow, invisible tide of breath. You are inside that gentle movement, not separate from it, not watching it, part of the way the room breathes. On the in-breath, the quiet seems to widen just a little. On the out-breath, it settles closer, like a soft blanket of silence. The old music has gone, but its shape lingers in the way the room feels. Soft edges, rounded corners, nothing sharp, nothing sudden. Your thoughts can appear here the way a last echo appears after a note, clear for a moment, then fading, then gone. They don't have to be pushed away. They simply don't know how to stay loud in a place like this. Even time has taken on the quality of a winding mechanism that has nearly finished. You might imagine that small metal key, once turning with energy, now barely moving. One last fraction of a turn, then still. Moments stretch, like the pause after a final chord. Not empty, just unhurried. Your breathing moves through these stretched moments like a slow line of sound that no one needs to hear. You might notice the space between your breaths, that tiny, quiet pause after you breathe out, the way the room seems to lean in, listening, not expecting anything, just there. And then the next breath comes, and the room leans back again, a gentle sway, barely there. Yet somehow, everything follows it. The boundary between your body and the room is softer now, as if the quiet has seeped into your skin, as if the air and your chest and the mattress all share the same slow rhythm. The edges of your arms, the outline of your legs, they blur a little, not gone, just less important, like the difference between the music box and the air around it after the song has ended. At some point, there is only quiet, and something resting in the middle of it. The room holds its silence the way the music box once held its tune. Carefully, completely. The air feels thicker with stillness, almost like a soft, invisible fabric that drapes over furniture, over the floor, over you. Each exhale presses gently into that fabric. Each inhale draws it close again. You don't have to manage this. The breathing is doing itself. The quiet is keeping its own shape. Thoughts, if they appear, can be like the tiny clicks of the music box gears as they slow. A brief sound, a moment of movement, then nothing more to turn, nothing more to play. They can stop in the middle of themselves, unfinished, and the room will simply absorb them. No need to complete the sentence. No need to find the ending. The quiet room has its own way of finishing things, by softening them, by folding them into silence. You might sense how the air near your face feels, cooler perhaps, or just still, how the breath you send out warms that small space, then disappears into the larger calm. The room receives every breath without comment, the way it once received the melody, the way it now receives the hush that follows. Your body rests inside this listening, like an instrument that has been gently put down, strings slack, keys untouched, not broken, simply not being asked to make any sound. The longer you lie here, the more the quiet fills in around you, like a very slow, invisible settling of dust, only softer, falling through the air, landing on every surface, smoothing every outline, until even the idea of inside and outside loses its sharpness. Just one continuous stillness, with breathing moving through it. Sometimes you might feel a small stir of thought, a memory, a plan. It can appear like the idea of winding the music box again. You can imagine your hand reaching for the key, then not. The box remains closed. The song remains unplayed. The quiet stays. And in that unplayed space, something in you can rest more deeply than sound ever allowed. Breath by breath, the room and your body share the same silence. No need to hold on to the day. No need to hold on to the night. Only this soft, almost weightless sense of being here. In a room that has forgotten noise. In a body that does not need to perform. In a quiet that knows how to keep itself. The weight of your body knows what to do now. It settles, like something gently descending through still air. Somewhere inside, an elevator door has already closed. Softly, quietly. The outside sounds stay on the other side. You feel the faint sense of moving down. Barely there, just the idea of it. A slow, steady drop through layers of quiet. Each exhale presses the button for a deeper floor. You do not have to see where you are going. You only feel the smooth, unhurried descent. The walls of this inner elevator are soft with silence. They hold the small echoes of your breath. Even those echoes grow slower, gentler. There is nothing to decide. The motion carries itself, down and down, through quieter and quieter levels of thought. Somewhere above, the day stays where it is. On higher floors, lights on, doors opening and closing without you. Here, the numbers above the door change without sound. 10, 9, 8. Then even the numbers blur, like ink sinking into paper. Your thoughts are like grains of sand in a tall glass tube. At first, they tumble, they rush, they try to stay in the air. Now they begin to fall, one by one. Thin streams of thought slipping downward, finding their place at the bottom. Each breath is another turn of the glass, slower, more careful, until even the falling becomes quiet. The sand no longer scatters. It settles, a soft, even layer. Nothing sharp, nothing sticking out. In your body, tiny muscles follow that same drift. The forehead loosens first, then the jaw, then the tongue, resting heavier, as if it too is settling to the floor. Behind your closed eyes, the last bright specks of the day sink. They fall through you like dust through a beam of light, lower, lower, until they disappear into the soft pile below. The elevator keeps moving down, but the movement is almost gone now. More like a memory of motion, a suggestion of depth. You are between floors, suspended in a column of stillness. Thoughts try to rise sometimes. A little swirl of sand lifting off the surface. They hover for a moment in the air. Then gravity remembers them, and they drift back down, joining the quiet layer again. Your chest rises, falls, like a slow, steady platform. carrying you through the last few levels of wakefulness. There is a point, hard to notice, where the elevator stops making sound. No hum, no cables, just a soft presence of being held in one place. You are close to that now. The floor beneath you has its own weight. It receives everything you give it, every ounce of tiredness, every leftover thought that has nowhere else to go. They all sink, through muscle, through mattress, through imagined floors beneath floors, until they are so far below you cannot feel them anymore. Up above, doors might still open, announcements might still be made, but they are on distant levels, muffled by distance and depth. Here, only the quiet remains, the kind of quiet that does not need to prove itself. It just is. Thick as sand, soft as dust that has finally stopped moving. You are allowed to rest inside this stillness. No more descending. No more watching the numbers change. Just the gentle weight of having arrived somewhere deep. If a thought appears, it appears like a single grain tossed into the air. It glitters for a second, then falls back into the pile, lost in the softness of everything else that has already settled. Breath by breath, the edges of your body blur, as if you are sinking a little into the mattress, as if the mattress is sinking a little into the floor, as if the floor is sinking a little into something deeper still, not falling, just easing downward, millimeter by millimeter, into a level where nothing needs to be held up anymore. The last doors stay closed now. No more arrivals, no more departures. Only this quiet cabin of darkness and air. Your breathing is the faintest vibration in the still shaft. A soft rise, a softer fall, then long stretches of almost nothing. Somewhere very far below, the final grain of sand finds its place. The pile is complete, smooth, untouched. Inside, that same feeling spreads. Finished enough, quiet enough, deep enough. You do not have to follow the words anymore. They can sink too, down through the floors, down into the sand. All that remains is the low, steady hum of your own resting. Barely there, almost silence. A quiet so deep, it holds you without effort. And now the quiet inside you is doing the holding. All the weight, all the pieces, all the noise that used to press so close, held, not by your effort, just held. You can feel how it no longer needs your hands, no longer needs your thoughts to keep it together. It knows what to do without you watching it, without you managing anything at all. You can rest back from it now. A small step, then another, softly, like setting something down on a table, and knowing it will stay there, without you. The quiet place within you has grown wide enough, gentle enough, steady enough. It can hold what needs to be held, for as long as it needs to be held, so your mind can loosen its grip, finger by finger, thought by thought. Nothing to fix, nothing to solve, just this slow unwinding, this easing away from effort. If a thought comes, it can be held too. If a feeling stirs, it can be cradled there. You do not need to follow it. You do not need to understand it. The quiet knows, and it is already taking care of it. You can stay close to the simple things, the soft rise and fall of your breathing, the gentle weight of your body resting. Each breath a small wave, coming in, going out, so easy, so quiet. If there is any tightness left, it can rest here as well. Nothing pushed away, nothing forced, just more space around everything, more room to be. You might notice how still the air feels now, how slow time seems, as if the world has dimmed its lights for you. Thoughts drifting farther apart, pauses growing longer, like empty rooms in a house at night. You can remain here as long as you wish. No clock, no next thing. Only this soft, unhurried now. If your mind reaches for movement, the quiet can meet it, soothe it, rock it back to stillness. You can sink a little deeper, into the bed beneath you, into the calm within you. Nothing is required. The quiet place is awake enough for both of you, watching over what needs watching, holding what needs holding, so you can drift, or sleep, or hover in between. Whatever comes is welcome here, even if it is only more quiet, more gentle blankness. You may feel yourself fading at the edges, thoughts softer, body heavier, like the very first moments when you once closed your eyes tonight and the world began to move away. Only now it does not need to come back. You can stay here, in this hush, in this softness, breath moving slowly, mind growing dim. The quiet place inside you is here, steady, unmoving, holding everything, so you can finally rest and rest and rest.